Salutations, dear viewers. In this video, I'm asking Malaysia to spare the life of Maria Elvira Pinto Exposto. So this woman was convicted of drug trafficking in Malaysia, but I would ask the Malaysian authorities to reconsider and ask all people of goodwill to appeal for her life, because there are many reasons to believe that she's innocent. The death penalty in itself is controversial. When it's for a crime less than murder, it's highly controversial. The great majority of countries do not execute people for possession of drugs or even trafficking drugs. So the facts of the case are this. About 4 years ago, this woman flew from China and was on her way to Australia when she had a plane change, a transit in Malaysia. And there over a kilo of methamphetamine was discovered in her luggage. So she denied all knowledge of this, and she's never waived in her story that she was a dupe. She was tricked into being a drug mule, having no idea that there was any illegal substance in her bag, and her conduct since then has been consistent with that. So she ought to be believed. She's already served 4 years in prison for this. She was convicted, and then her appeal was overturned. And then a year later, her conviction was reinstated, which staggers me. Now, each country has its own legal system, but how can this declaration of innocence be then thrown out? Malaysia largely uses common law. In some instances it uses Sharia law, but the prosecution have one chance, and if the defence win once, that's it. If there's a conviction and there's an appeal and the appeal is allowed, that's it, the person's not guilty. If they lose an appeal and then they win a subsequent appeal, that person is not guilty. It depends how many appeals you're allowed, but that's it. How can there be no reasonable doubt about her guilt? The doubt about her guilt is very great indeed. So she could well be telling the truth, and the court has found that and subsequently changed his mind. So it makes no sense whatever to reinstate her conviction. She had no previous criminal record. She's a woman of blameless integrity, of good reputation. Someone with probity doesn't suddenly start dealing drugs at the age of 54. So here she is, a grandmother. She had no money problems, so why would she possibly choose to do this? She was part of a love scam. She was conned into carrying a bag for someone, having not the foggiest notion what was in it. She was on her way home to Australia. She's a grandmother. There are many reasons to spare her life. So I plead with the Malaysian authorities that even they're not going to let her out of prison, to be merciful and let her live. It won't achieve anything killing this woman, because toughness is about being brave enough to show compassion and not kill people. Sparing her life would be a magnanimous act, and it would redound very much to Malaysia's credit. So I know that Malaysia is a marvellous country with much to be proud of, and that's what I'm confident that the Malaysian authorities will show their greatness and be merciful.